All right, everyone, this is part 3 of our hip mobility sequence with the kettlebell. For today, we're going to work on our inner thighs, our groin loins, and deep into the hamstring. We're going to get nice and nitty gritty here. So stick around, tag along, and let's get right into it. We're going to first start off back into that 90-90 position. And our first step, as always, is softening the tissue. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to place the kettlebell inside my thigh. Now I'm going to be rolling up and down my inner thigh and the inside of my quad to get all this gunk out. And typically as we are sitting down a lot and walking everywhere, our hips tend to get pretty tight. Our legs stay closed, at least, we hope so, At least we only open them to the right one. I don't know. But anyway, so I'm rolling this kettlebell up and down inside of my quad and in my groin. And I'm finding those kinks, those congested areas. And yeah, typically the inner thighs tend to get pretty tight as we're walking and sitting just because they stay closed. I mean, unless we only open them up at the right time for the right one, you know what I'm saying? So as we're lengthening and softening these tissues here, you can go ahead and maybe get into the nitty gritty in the underside of that groin. Really even get your elbow down in there. You like to lengthen that leg away. Let's get deeper into that lengthened tissue. Once you find that area, go ahead. Let's take a couple breaths here. Inhale. Exhale. Soften and release. Soften your face. Inhale. Exhale for 2. Releasing with every exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Allow the tension to dissolve away in the time. Inhale. And exhale. Beautiful. Let's go ahead. Let's switch sides. 90-90 over to the other side. Bring this kettlebell on top of our inner thigh. And again, we're just kind of rolling, almost like you're kneading out some pizza dough. We're just kind of just kind of scraping the congested area. That's what I like to say. Get into that inner quad, that teardrop muscle, which is typically on to stabilize our knee and our walking and running. Ooh, finding those spots just, that came out of nowhere. And you can always extend and pull the foot back and forth to you. This is really mobilizing that area. And maybe one side feels tighter than the other. And that's all right. It typically happens when we are asymmetrical beings. We have some sides that we prefer in some movements, some sides we don't. It's weird. We're just humans, We're lopsided. From here, find that tight spot again. Let's take a couple breaths. Inhale. Exhale, release. Inhale. Exhale. Kind of telling this area to relax. 2 more. Breathe in. Breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Wonderful. Go ahead and drop that kettlebell down. Now we're nice and open. Let's go ahead. Let's get into a little bit deeper into the crevice. We're actually gonna act or use this kettlebell to act as a foam roller. Let's actually sit on the kettlebell right onto our sit bones. Just like so. We're gonna really stack ourselves over the kettlebell, finding our hamstrings and into the high groin area where everything attaches. And you can rotate yourself around. It's kind of going back and forth. And typically, I like to, if I have a partner with me, I like to have them kind of lay me down and really hammer this kettlebell right into this area. If you don't want to work, or if you just want to have a spa day with you and your partner, this is a great way to do that without really learning much massage technique, just because the weight of the kettlebell kind of helps you. But if you're by yourself, you can always just sit on top of it, just because it's a pretty hard piece of stone. So that works too. Again, once you find that spot, go ahead and take a couple breaths. Breathe in, breathe out. Inhale. Exhale for 2. Maybe feel some trembling and shaking. Inhale. Whatever comes up, exhale. Allow yourself to just release. Last one. Inhale. And exhale. Good. Let's go. Let's do the other side. Sit on that kettlebell. Oh yeah. Getting high into that hamstring, right onto our sit bones. Should almost feel like you're sitting on your, the exit route of what's in your intestines, but not all the way on there. We don't want to hurt ourselves. Right to the sides. And we're spending a little bit more time in the softening phase for this one, just because these areas are tight and we need to spend more time decongesting the areas and scraping out any tight tissue. Once you find that spot, go ahead, maybe like to close your eyes and connect to it. Let's take a couple of breaths here. Breathe in, breathe out, breathe in, breathe out for 2. Allow yourself to release, soften. Inhale, exhale. Last one, breathe in and breathe out. Wonderful. Good. So that was step 1 of our mobility process of our groin and our hips. Let's go ahead, let's find a way onto our knee for our second step to lengthen these groin loin areas. So what I'm going to do, similar to what we did for our first series, we're going to get into a kneeling position. But from this time, whatever leg is in front, we're going to open it out to the side, just like so. My right knee is to the side this time, and I'm going to grab the kettlebell right at the bottom here, just like so. And from here, I'm just going to lunge over to the side, allowing my hips to push open and my chest to stay open, opening up those inner thighs and maybe into the ankle here. Go ahead and drive yourself back. Let's go for around 6 reps here. Inhale, allow yourself to sink, allow gravity to pull down. Exhale, pull back to the top. And notice how I say pull. We don't really want to push off of this outside leg here. If you feel a stretch on this inside thigh, allow that stretch to become a strength and pull yourself back to center. That way, again, we are lengthening and strengthening at the same time. You got 3 more reps. Allow yourself to sink a little bit deeper. Exhale, pull yourself back. Inhale, sink yourself down. Exhale, pull it back. Last time here. Inhale and exhale. Good. Let's go ahead. Let's do the other side here. You got a bug bite there. That's all right. It's nature's kiss. Let's go ahead. Let's come back. Grabbing our kettlebell at the bottom here. Go ahead. Keep the chest upright. We're going to sink our way down, finding those inner loins. Exhale, pull it back. And if you'd like, you can always bring that foot out a little bit further to get yourself deeper into that groin. Good, 2. Inhale, sink yourself down. Poke the butt back. Exhale, drive for 3. 3 more. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more. Allow each breath to be an opportunity to sink yourself deeper and to pull a little bit harder. Good. 1 more for good measure. Good. You may have done an extra rep there, but as you may know me, my reps tend to get lost in the sauce. But that was our lengthening process of our groin and a little bit into our hamstring. Third step, let's actually get into a little bit of the strengthening process. So from here, we're actually going to bring both feet up into our squatting position, stack the shoulders over the heels and maybe a little bit outside. And from here, go ahead and pull yourself down into a squat and grab the kettlebell by the horns. Place your elbows inside the knees and bring the kettlebell up into this deep squat position. So from here, let's take a couple breaths to really sink into this position. Allow your hips to dunk. Pretty much prepping ourselves for a trip to India to take or go to a bathroom break over there. And again, allow the weight of the kettlebells to drive your knees open. And then now from here, on the next exhale, we're going to squeeze the knees together in this lengthened position. So from here, we're going to do 6 breaths. Go ahead, take a big breath in. Exhale, squeeze the knees in while giving some pressure against your knees with your elbows. Inhale. Exhale, squeeze again. As hard as you can. Inhale. Exhale and squeeze. Resisting with your elbows. 3 more. Inhale. Open. Exhale, squeeze. Inhale. Exhale. Oh yeah. 1 more. Exhale, squeeze. Hard as you can. And release and drop. Whew. Oh yeah. That, my friends, is lengthening the loins. So we're able to present, get into a deeper squat, and access these deeper ranges of motion with our hips and the rest of our body. That completes our 3-part series of our hip mobility with a kettlebell. And as you can see, I'm just here with a blanket, a kettlebell, myself, underneath some trees, and we just did a whole sequence to mobilize our hips. There's not that many tools that you need for what we just did. Just a kettlebell and just yourself. And the intention to bring ourselves up into an elevated reality. Much love and stay curious, my friends.